Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Tiger, and I actually decided not to go away this weekend. Um, Honestly, I can't justify spending £60 for a train ticket for 3 days away. No way. It's just, in my opinion, yes, it would have been nice, and people say, well, it's not really a waste of money if you're getting away. Honestly. The thing is, guys, lately I've been like one of the, been in this sort of mindset of, because I'm on the go so much, like yesterday, I had a chill day, and I found it really hard to just chill out. I really did. You know, I went into town the other day, and literally I brought like three things, just a couple of Star Trek books and this Mr. Imperium DVD, and it was like 50p. I spent not even £1.50 in town on stuff for me, and I brought a few snacks and things like that. Lately for me, I'm more interested, like, as long as I've got my games that I can play, my subscriptions, and some food, I'm happy. That's good enough for me. I don't need to go out and spend, 60, £70 on a ton of pickups. I've still got plenty of stuff there, and obviously the other shelf, and obviously with Netflix and Amazon and Disney. I've got plenty of options to explore, and I'm always doing something different each week. Like this week and last week, I've been, Family Guy's been my sort of nighttime show, but next week I'm going to switch to Netflix and do Netflix for a week. Obviously, that's after I watch a movie or something. This weekend and yesterday, I watched half of the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. I'm still like in 2020, unfortunately. Still got quite a lot of stuff, but like I said, because I've got that subscription service, I can just watch it as and when. There's no yes, obviously, I'm being a bit more careful with subscription services at the moment. Like before, I would always buy stuff and just have it, whereas now I'm like, okay, am I actually going to watch it this week? Am I going to watch it within the next 2-3 weeks? Okay, is it worth me actually paying for it now, or just paying for it when I decide that I'm actually going to watch it? You know what I mean? So. That's why I brought Netflix back, because I thought, well, next week I'm going to do Netflix next week. And so, yeah, I watched the first half of Full Gear last night, 2020, and I'm going to watch the second half tonight. I say it's not in halves, I just watched, it was 3 hours and 46 minutes, so I thought, you know what, I'll watch an hour and 46 last night, and then tonight I'll probably watch the last 2 hours of it. Late, like I said, I just don't like really spending money, we were going to go out for lunch today, but I ain't got the money to do that now, so honestly, it's just one of them things, really. I played a few games over the past few days, the other day I played a bunch of Game Boy Advance games, going down the list on my PS3. Honestly, I must have played like 20 games, or tried out 20 games, and there was only one that actually really sort of, I was like, okay, this is decent, and that was an Action Man game on Game Boy Advance. Who would have thought it, an Action Man game would have actually been pretty decent? I mean, it wasn't a masterpiece or anything, but it was, I put more time into that than any other game that I played on there. But I also tried out Vikings Wolves of Midgard last night, and actually I thought it was pretty decent. I thought I was going in there expecting it to be like a Diablo clone, and in a way it kind of is, but it's actually got more depth to it. Actually, it's not one of them games where you have one class and that's it, you have to stick with that class. It's one of them RPGs where you have like two main characters. You've got the female character and the male character, but each character has different paths you can take. But it's one of them games where the paths aren't based on what class you choose. It's based on what weapons you use. So if you wanted to go like dual wield, axes, that's one class. And if you want to use heavy weapons, that's another class. And obviously switching weapons, changes your skills around. It's not a perfect game, by any means. It's actually pretty decent. It is a bit more grindy, I found, than Warhammer Chaos Bane. With Chaos Bane, I felt like that game was just like you were so overpowered from the beginning. Whereas in this one, it seems like this one's got a bit more grindiness to it. It has like resource management where you can use your resources to like upgrade your camps and stuff. I thought it was actually pretty fun, and it's one that I'm probably going to go back to when I go on the Xbox next. I'm changing it around with me, so each night I change what my gaming schedule is. It will normally, for me, it will go, it start off with PS3, because obviously I've got my list of PS3 games that I played. I played, the last PS3 game I played was Warriors Legend of Troy. I played it before, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it another go. Oh, bloody hell. It's basically Dynasty Warriors, but in Greek mythology. Unfortunately, it's not as good as Dynasty Warriors. It's quite slow paced, unfortunately. It reminds me a lot of like Spartan Total Warrior than more so than like Dynasty Warriors. But it's not as fast. It's a bit slow. Unfortunately, I got to like the boss fight where you have to play as the woman character. I can't remember her name. And then you're fighting the shadows, and I just gave up with it because it was just so unfair. Your character's so slow, and these other enemies, it's more skill based in that one. You have to like block and dodge and use certain attacks and things. Whereas Dynasty Warriors is just sort of button mashing for days. The only skill level that you need in any Dynasty Warriors or something like that is if you're playing on harder difficulties. Unless you're playing some of the older games, that's when it's a bit more unfair. But so I played that one, gave it a go, I played a decent amount of it, must have played about 3 or 4 hours worth of it, but, and then tonight I'm going to play some more PS1 games, go down the list, probably get about 10 more PS1 games played in tonight. Just, like I said, it takes a lot for an old game for me to be interested in, although I am skipping, RPGs when it comes to playing these games. I skip like long RPGs, JRPGs, games that I know that have a long play style in them, story-based games. I'm skipping them, and I'm putting them in my list anyway to come back to at a later date. I'm just trying to get played, the quicker games first, games that I know that I can either beat within a couple of days, or games that, I might play once and not come back to. Whereas these old JRPGs and horror games like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, they're games that I know that I'd want to put time into, but would have to sort of dedicate a bit of time to playing that, and stuff like that. So, and it takes a lot for an older game like a PS1 or a retro game for me to really want to put time into it anyway. So, so tonight I'll probably watch the second half of AEW, and then I think tomorrow night I might watch a film. Tomorrow night I might watch Retro Puppet Master, continue on with the Puppet Master series. I think that's the 7th film. It's either the 7th or the 6th, I can't remember. I also watched the 5th volume of the Looney Tunes Golden Collection. I thought that was a decent little one. There was one disc that was just dedicated to the black and white cartoons, which I really like. The old Looney Tunes black and white cartoons before it was really sort of Looney Tunes as we know it. Bugs, Porky, Elmer, all of that. These were the old ones. Porky has actually been around for years. He's been around. I think Porky was one of the first. I say OG. More well-known Looney Tunes character, but there was before it was like Beans and stuff, and Daffy as well. Daffy, and I think Daffy, Bugs and Porky were like 3 of the first main ones, and then I think Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote came around in like the 50s, 60s. Elmer Fudd was like 40s, early 50s, I think, with Bugs Bunny, of course. And I don't think Elmer, Wiley, any of the Sylvester were in any of the black and white cartoons from the 30s and early 40s. I think they came around in the 50s when it was the coloured era of Looney Tunes. But like I said, there's still a ton of special features on there that I can check out at a later date. So yeah, but yeah, then I'll get back to basics, back to watching something different each night. I just wanted to get this pay-per-view watched over 2 nights because I spent 20 quid on it. That's one thing that I'm kind of pissed off that Fight TV haven't done yet with AEW is include the pay-per-views in the actual price. But I've heard AEW might be doing their own subscription service. Now that they own Ring of Honor, I could definitely see them doing some sort of subscription service, much like IWTV or WWE Network or something, where they actually have not just, or Impact Plus, for example, where they not just have their own shows. They'll have the pay-per-views and specials included. They'll probably have a ton of like original programming back behind the scenes stuff, and then they could probably put in like the Ring of Honor catalog as well. So I could definitely see them doing something like that. I believe there was talk about it happening sometime this year. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but if they do, I'll be happy with that. Speaking of subscription services, there's a couple more coming soon. First off, Paramount Plus is coming to the UK, I think, next month. It's either this month or next month. Am I going to get it? I probably will, because I know that it's going to have some decent stuff on there. I know South Park's going to be on there, even though I've watched it all, but I haven't watched the new seasons. I think Beavis and Butthead, I know they're doing a new movie with Beavis and Butthead, but if they're doing a movie with Beavis and Butthead and putting that on there, I can definitely see them putting on the original series as well, because I've always wanted to watch that. Of course, it's going to have Nickelodeon on there, so I can expect things like SpongeBob and, Fairly Odd Parents and stuff like that. Of course, original stuff and live action and some films. I'm not too sure how much it's going to cost yet. I think it's going to be about the same price as Disney Plus, I think. Cheaper than Netflix. I still think Netflix is ridiculously overpriced. But yeah, you can have up to 4 accounts and 4K and stuff. But to me, that's stupid, because Amazon Prime is $7.99 a month. And not only do you get, you get the 4K stuff included, but you also get, the free delivery and Amazon Music, and not that I use Amazon Music, but it's all inclusive, whereas Netflix, I just feel like Netflix is just charging too much. Honestly, I just think they're charging too much, and they're doing a lot of stupid things lately, unfortunately. But yeah, Netflix has a ton of original programs. I think Netflix has more originals than any other subscription service anyway. I think that's why they charge so much, is because of their originals. You're basically paying for the originals, unfortunately. Because you've got to think, Netflix has lost the right to so many, things like Marvel, Disney. Marvel's all on Disney Plus, and even Disney Plus now has a couple of the Spider-Man movies. Which is good, because I'm glad Sony have sort of worked this out with Disney, and to say, look, you can put them all on there, because it's only fair, especially with like the MCU, the No Way Home trilogy, or the Home trilogy of Spider-Man. I know they put Homecoming on there, Spider-Man 1 and 2, and the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. I think it's mainly because obviously No Way Home with the 3 actors in it. So I can imagine we probably will get No Way Home and Far From Home soon anyway. And they have actually slotted Homecoming in to the MCU universe, which is pretty cool. I think Disney Plus is probably one of the best subscription services at the moment, because you get a ton of stuff in there. You not only just get Disney stuff. When it first came out, it was just exclusively Disney, but now you get Fox and Marvel and Star Wars and Simpsons and tons of stuff. I think it's a fantastic value for what you're getting, and you're not actually paying extra for the 4K and IMAX stuff either. Plus, new films, especially Marvel films like Doctor Strange, Black Widow, live action Disney films actually get added to it either on the day that they come out, or maybe like a month later. It's much quicker than it is buying a Blu-ray or something sometimes. So but again, unfortunately, the cinema is dead, in my opinion. There's very rarely do I see a movie that come out that I'm like, I want to go and watch it in the cinema. And it's the same thing whenever there's a Marvel film or Star Wars film. My friends are like, oh, let's go watch this. And I'm thinking, is it really worth it when in maybe a month or two it'll be on Disney Plus and I can watch it in the comfort of my own home with no extra cost? You know, 20 quid for one movie to go and watch a movie. Yeah, I'll pay $7.99 and get a ton. You know, there's still a few subscription services I haven't got that yet, but like I said, I'm only really going to pay for them when I'm using them, being a bit more smart with it, and stuff like that. So, but that's oh, what other subscription services are coming? Oh, there, the new PlayStation Plus. I had a little look because I know it's coming out on the 22nd, which is next Wednesday. So I'm gonna have a look on the PlayStation because I don't think you can actually prepay for it. I think if you've already got PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, you automatically get put on the premium, or the because there's 3 tiers. You've got the normal tier, which is just like PlayStation Plus, as it is, you know, free games a month online, etc. Then you've got the premium tier, which is a bit more expensive, but you get the access to the PS5, the PS4 library, and I think I'm not sure, and I think that's it. And then obviously the third tier, the highest tier, you get the PS3 streaming stuff, and then PS1 and PS2 and PSP. Although I had a little look on the list of games that are on there, but this was North America. But I can imagine it'll be more or less the same in Europe, in UK. The PS4 library is actually pretty decent. There's about 300 PS4 games on there, and there's a ton on there that I want to check out. You know, the Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ghost of Tsushima. You know, a lot of people say, oh, these are pretty common games, but not everyone's played them, you know. The PS3 library, I'm not too bothered about because I've got most of those games on my modded PS3. The PS2, PS1, and PSP library is weak. I will say it's very weak. I've heard that it don't actually run too well either. Again, same principle. I've got them on my modded PS3. Maybe, you know, I like to have the highest tier when it comes to subscriptions because I get the best amount of stuff for the cost. But is it justified paying that a bit of extra to have games that I might already be able to play on something else? I don't know. But I'm probably going to get it next week when it comes out. And I'm looking forward to it because, you know, I think the first game that I'll probably check out will be Ghost of Tsushima. Although for some reason it's saying that I've actually got it on my PS4, but I'm sure I didn't buy it. Maybe it's just a multiplayer version. I don't know. So yeah, PS1 games tonight. Probably play about 5, 6, maybe 10 or so. It's hard to tell with these old games. Sometimes I can put them in and because a lot of them are blind for me, you know. I did have the PS1 growing up, but I only had a handful of games. So a lot of the time when I put in a PS1 game or a retro game, I don't know whether or not I'm going to enjoy it or not. You know, I can put it in and go, oh, this is fun. Play it for an hour or so and then, oh, cool. Other times I can put a game and play it for 10 minutes and go, I ain't playing that again. Unfortunately, I have been spoiled by the modern generation. But all in all, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to share with you guys. So I think I'm going to chill for a bit today. I want to get some stuff done first. I might just finish off doing the rest of the housework today. And then I think I might just chill for a bit. I might watch some YouTube today. I've been watching a bit of Dashi, catch up with that. And then I think tonight, watching the last hour and a half of AEW. And yeah. But at least the weather's calmed down today. It's actually been raining a little bit this morning, a bit cooler today. I hate the heat. I think that's why I woke up so many times last night, because of the heat. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like and, of course, comment below. Let me know what you've been playing, what you've been watching. Are you going to get the new PlayStation Plus, or have you already got it in your country? Is it worth it? Let me know if you've already got it. And as always, guys, follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe if you haven't already. And have a nice day. See you next time. Ta-ta.